Hey everyone, it's Laura. Today I'm going to talk about college tuition. Gosh, you guys, it's so expensive. And as a single mom, I'm trying to figure out how to help my daughter pay for college when we have limited financial resources. And I don't want her to rack up a lot of debt. I'm 57 and my student loans recently got paid off because I work for a qualified nonprofit agency. So if you are a single mom or just a parent that's trying to figure out how to help your child pay for school, please stick around and we will get into it. I'm going to share some information that I learned and then some things that I found that might be helpful. The average cost of in-state tuition for a public four-year university is about $11,011 per year. Out-of-state public schools tuition is about $24,513. And for a public two-year school, so those are your community colleges, much less, $4,050 on average. Now, when you look at a private school, you're looking at a lot more, about 43,000 plus for a private school. So where your child decides to go to college makes a big difference. It really makes a big difference. My daughter and I had planned that she would go to a two-year college to start with and then transfer to a four-year university and then beyond because she wants to go to law school. However, when we did a college tour of one of the schools that she was thinking about, she fell in love and decided she wanted to go immediately. So that put us in a little bit of a situation, but you know what? She has worked hard. She has been such a good student, and I want her to be able to live her dreams of college just like I did. I was the first in my family to go to college, and she'll be the second. So, what I've learned about financial aid. FAFSA is the document that you'll fill out, and that will tell you if you qualify for financial need. And it's based on what they call the student aid index. So once you fill out the application, it's pretty easy. It's linked to your tax information, so you'll get all of that. And then your student will also have to fill it out. So once that's filled out, you get this score, and that tells if there's need for financial assistance. We unfortunately didn't qualify. They didn't feel that there was need. I would beg to differ because I have very little left at the end of each paycheck after paying the bills. But I can't change that. So it is what it is. So now we needed to move on. So started thinking about what are my options. Remembering back to school for me in 1985, my parents didn't finance my college. I did. I took out a lot of loans because that was the option that I had available. But I thought, my daughter is working. Why can't the financial aid be based on what she's making? Why does it have to be based on my income? So I called the college financial aid office, and they said that the rules now are that students have to be at least 24 years old before they are considered an independent. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought when she was 18 that I was done with all of this and that she could begin her happy future and start doing things more on her own, of course, with some help. But no, 24. So I am 57, and for the next 4, 6 years, I don't even know how long law school is, they will be using my income. I don't see how I'm ever going to get to retire if that's the case. They said the other option is if she were to be married. We don't want to go that option. I want her to be able to focus on school without that to worry about. And then the other option is if she doesn't have a parent and she is truly financially on her own, where she's living on her own, she has a job on her own, that sort of stuff, and that she's able to support her school. So none of those things are going to help us. It looks like it's all up to me. The other information about all of this is it's not very clear. Nothing is easy to find when you go to the studentaid.gov, and I'm going to pop up a little screen recording that I made, they say that financial assistance is not based on income. They won't give you an income cap. So unfortunately, you're just going to need to apply, see if you qualify, and then develop a plan like I'm doing to try to figure it out. Here is the FAFSA login page. It says studentaid.gov, and you go here and click start to fill out a form, or you can edit a form. Pretty simple to fill out. It does connect to your tax information, so there's not a whole lot that you need to fill out. Pretty simple, but this piece is needed and highly recommended that you do. Even if you think that you don't qualify, it is good to do it. Breaking down the tuition costs, when my daughter received her financial aid award letter, I noticed that there was a section called direct cost, and then there was indirect cost. Your student's college may label things differently, but direct costs are typically the tuition cost as well as the room and board to stay there on campus. And then the indirect costs maybe are books or meals, those kinds of things that your student might need. Call the school and ask questions. That's what I had to do because her bill was about $25,000. I'm going to pop that up. And I was like, how can we get that cost down? That was for a year's cost. So call the school. And then the things that your child needs or chooses to do all adds up financially. So does your child need a vehicle, or can they get around on their own? My daughter's college offers a bus system that can take them all over town, take them to different classes and college buildings, that sort of stuff. So she technically doesn't need to have a vehicle on campus. The type of room that they choose. So if they want a room with a kitchenette or a private room, all of those things obviously cost more money. My daughter will be choosing the basic traditional dorm style room that they'll walk down the hallway to use the bathroom and a shared shower system, all of that sort of stuff. That's what she's going to have to do just because of our financial situation. And then things like the meal plan that you choose, or is meals included in tuition? At her school, meals are not included, it's an add on. And you can choose things like, do you want 2 meals a day, or do you want 3 full meals a day? Do you need meals on weekends? That sort of stuff. So all of that is factored into tuition. So you have some flexibility to adjust the cost, or at least we do for the school that she's going to. So if we were just looking at tuition, it's expensive. Bottom line, we're having to find scholarships and figure out other ways to pay. Here is a list on the screen of places to seek scholarships. She uses scholarship.com a lot. One of the things that I wish that we had done is create a spreadsheet to track when deadlines are, who she's applied for, that sort of stuff. That would have been helpful. We didn't do that. We will do it for the future. But that is something that I can recommend to you that would be helpful, because there's a lot that you have to weed through. Reuse the essay. So a lot of scholarships will require your student to write an essay. So have your student write a basic essay talking about themselves, what their hopes are, their dreams, their accomplishments, and then tweak that basic essay to fit whatever scholarship you're applying for. The other tip is make sure that you read the instructions for the scholarship very carefully. You will be automatically denied if you don't follow instructions, or even if you apply for a scholarship that isn't relevant to your student. For example, something simple. If you apply for a teacher scholarship, but your student doesn't plan to be a teacher. And don't forget about small scholarships. Lots of people apply for the $3,000, $5,000 scholarships, $10,000, that sort of stuff. Those are much more difficult to get. So don't forget to apply for those $250 scholarships, $500 scholarships. Every little bit counts. So I cannot stress that enough. And that was a tip that her college gave to us. Okay, this is my daughter's financial aid packet. You can see the costs that she will incur for the year. These are estimated costs. She has direct costs and indirect costs. Those indirect costs are the things that we are hoping to be able to eliminate. As you can see, transportation is there, and we know that is one expense that she will not need. I believe this also includes other things like laptop and that sort of stuff. The college has not given us yet what the actual costs will be for the year. These are estimates. So it does make it a little frustrating because we don't know what we're working with yet. We do know that the room and board and meals is a cost that we can hopefully reduce. depending upon the dorm that we choose. And then we have the total cost for the year. This is the number that I am hoping to reduce. I'm guesstimating maybe about 14,000, but again, we won't know until the college releases their actual numbers. And then here you can see that she was awarded $2,000 in scholarship for the year. So that will be deducted from that total estimated cost from the top. And then you can see that they provided her with some loans in $5,500. We want to be able to avoid taking out loans if at all possible. So if you find that I'm giving you some good advice so far and sharing my experience and it's something that you can use and find helpful, please like and subscribe. I am really trying to build a community for single moms and women to share information and learn and grow together. You also want to look locally. I suggest you start brainstorming a list of places that may be offering scholarships. Look on their websites. So ask, like your community bank, where you bank, do they have a scholarship program? Look at community groups, civic groups like Civitan or Kiwanis. If you're in any of those, that is a great source to ask about scholarships. Sometimes churches will offer scholarships, and don't forget employers. I work for a nonprofit agency and we don't offer scholarships for our employees. But there are places like my daughter, she works as well. Her company does not offer scholarships. So I said, when you go to college, because you're going to have to work, why not consider a place that does offer scholarships? Chick-fil-A, for example, they offer scholarships for students. So those are just helpful resources to think about. You really have to be strategic when planning this. Ask friends and family, do they know of anybody? Do they work for a company that offers scholarships that maybe is extended to family members? You just don't know. There are so many options. And again, small amounts can add up quickly. So take anything that you can get. So what am I doing once we found out that she doesn't qualify for financial assistance through the government? You might know, if you've already been watching my channel, that I am a reseller. I originally started reselling to set aside a little bit more than what I had already in my retirement account. Now that money is redirected and it's going to be going towards her college account to pay for tuition. So I sell on places Facebook, Macari, Vinted, Whatnot, Poshmark, eBay. That might be an option for you. And I do have some videos on my channel already about reselling. Crowdfunding. I don't really like to ask people for money. I'm stubborn that way, I guess. I feel like I should be able to do it on my own, but this is a big problem. It's a big financial commitment to try to pay for her school, and I really don't know how I'm going to do it. So we did talk about it and decided to go ahead and set up a GoFundMe account. You've done a great job raising your child, and don't be too proud to ask for assistance. And honestly, there are some people that have the financial means to help others, and it's something they really want to do. So write a good post about your child going to school and what it would mean to your child. Get your child to write a good post. Talk about what the needs are and the accomplishments of your student and where your student's going to go. There might be somebody that graduated from that college who would really like to contribute and help someone else. So don't forget that and don't be too proud. Another thing that I'm doing, because I already work full time, I already resell, trying to think of more passive income means that might help. So if I put in a little bit of effort up front, and then passive meaning that it can continue to generate funds. So I decided to open up a Printify print on demand shop. I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm working on designing some logos and things for t-shirts for moms, especially single moms. I can sell candles and notepads and tote bags and that sort of stuff. So in this way, I feel like people can help and it doesn't feel so much like a handout because they're getting something in return. They're getting a product that I have designed, and hopefully that will bring some money about. For Printify, most of my pricing, I'll get about a 40% profit. So for me, that is good because I'm designing once, I'm uploading the product, and then they take care of all the rest. They'll ship it. It's a reputable company. A lot of people do it. and I hope you'll visit my shop. It's not finished yet. I only have a few products up, but I'm going to be loading lots more. I have a lot that I've completed. Now I just need to get them listed on the storefront. I've also started coaching clients. I became a certified life coach in 2019. Dad died in 2020, and I wasn't able to move forward. I was struggling after losing him, and I wasn't in the right headspace to coach other clients. And even though my life is not perfect now, and I even talked to my teacher when I was coaching, I was like, how can I coach people when I have so many problems myself and I don't feel like my life is perfect and there's just always something going on? And he told me that makes you a great coach because you have experience to draw from. You have been in other people's shoes and can empathize with what they may be feeling or thinking. And I do have the training to ask the right kinds of questions to help people make changes in their life. So I have gotten started coaching again, and I actually have one client. So I just need to boost that up. I'll have to work during the day, so 8:30 to 5, come home, and then try to get a coaching client in maybe 7 to 8, and then work on the Printify business or my reselling business. If you're a single mom, you do what you have to do to make things happen for your family. And I'm used to that. And that's what I have to do. I'm also looking, are there other fundraising ideas? When I was vacuuming my car, I saw a sign at the car wash that said use this QR code and refer people, and then you earn money by doing that. So I was like, oh, that could be a neat thing to do. Because I'm already stretched with time, I need to really try to maximize what I do versus trying a bunch of smaller things that won't equal to a lot. So right now, those things I just shared are what I am trying. And then, of course, my daughter is working as well. Okay, I'm trying a new screen recorder here, so hopefully this will work. This is my little Printify store. It is still a work in progress. I've only uploaded a few items. It's called the Mom Shop by Simply Laura. I have designed some t-shirts. This one, Single Mom Life. I work like I don't have a choice because I don't. There are lots of funny or sarcastic t-shirt designs that I will be uploading. I have a candle here, One Strong Woman Can Raise a Nation. I will be uploading lots of different products. This one here, I think I'm going to remove the green background because I don't like how that looks. And the same with this one. I want to remove the white background there and look for something different. This one is a sticker that I have uploaded. You can see the pricing here. This one here is a magnet as well as another t-shirt design and then a hat. I will hopefully be finished uploading all of the products by this weekend. So I do hope you will take a look at the store and find something you like. It will certainly help support my daughter's college education, and I hope you will share it with friends and family that you think may enjoy the products. I wanted to share some helpful resources. Go to Google or whatever search engine that you use and search for state-specific grants, scholarships. So for me, there's a whole website for North Carolina on scholarships that are available. So check that out. Take advantage of early college if that's available in your state. This whole last year and in 11th grade, she's been taking college courses while also taking her high school courses. So those courses will transfer to her college. We're going to a state university, and there is an articulation agreement between the community college and the state college. So all of those courses will transfer. She's really completed close to a full year, even though she'll be going in as a freshman. And the great thing about that is those college classes in high school don't cost any tuition. You just have to pay for the books. So instead of a couple hundred for the course, we had to pay $50 or $70 for the college book. So that's very helpful. Go to forums like Reddit and Quora, Facebook, look for YouTube videos on how to pay for your child's college. There are a lot of people that share information, as I am doing here, that may be helpful to you. So check that stuff out. I do things like that when I am, for example, I'm waiting in line somewhere. I'll pull up my cell phone and I'll do a quick search. And that way I can maximize my time and also get some beneficial information from that. As I mentioned, local Facebook groups. And just last night, actually, so this video was timely, I participated in an online Zoom. So it's from a gentleman that has a program that he's selling basically. It's called Yorkshire College Planning.com, and it's where you listen to the presentation and then they try to sell you access to their course or to get assistance, that sort of stuff. However, this webinar that I did with him was actually very beneficial. He gave so many free resources. He hung around, he answered questions. I'm not going to be able to afford to hire them to help my daughter. I do think it would be beneficial for many people if you're able to afford it. But the great thing was he gave you information and resources that could help you now get started, even if you are not using them as a company. And a lot of times you don't find that when you participate in these things. It's like a bait and switch, and they typically only share the same information that they already shared when they tried to get you to sign up. But this situation was different, very helpful. I highly recommend that you go to their website and sign up. He explained the process of getting grants and how it may seem that a state college is cheaper than a private college, but sometimes you get better financial aid from a private college. So he helps you learn how to look at all of that together and figure out what is the best option for your family. I'm not getting any kind of kickback or anything. It's just something I wanted to share. It was a really great resource. So, final thoughts here. You're not alone. There are so many of us, whether you're a single parent or not, that are in this situation. And it's a challenge. It's something that you have to figure out. I know you might feel overwhelmed if you're in the process like I am. I do feel overwhelmed, but you're not alone. Keep going. You're making a difference in the life of your child in a very impactful way because this is their future. If you have found any great resources or learned some things that would be helpful to others, please share those in the comments. That's how we can support one another. That's how we all learn together. If you want to hit the notification bell, it'll let you know when I upload videos. My channel is all about helping women, whether it's new resources that I found or resources that I use all the time, how I do reselling, just information from my life coaching about building confidence, those kinds of things. So it may seem as if I'm all over the place, but it's all about helping one another learn and grow. And here comes a cat. This is Oreo. So he's popping in here at the end of the video to say hello. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hi, sweetie. Don't bite my nose. No, don't bite my nose.